To win in Street Fighter, you have to deplete your opponent's health down to 0. That's pretty obvious to anybody who even takes a single look at this game. But the real question is, how? Well, the obvious answer to that is, hit it till it dies! But that's really only half the answer, because your opponent is going to be trying to do the exact same thing to you. So how do you hit your opponent without your opponent hitting you? By playing neutral. The word neutral refers to exactly what it sounds like. It's the situation where both players are on relatively equal footing, neither player has a significant advantage over each other, and both players are generally fighting for some small advantage that they can then convert into a larger advantage and hopefully eventually convert into a hit, into a combo, into damage. But for this video, we're going to skip the combos. New players tend to have a lot of misconceptions about combos, such as how difficult they are or how important they are. Practicing your combos will boost your damage output, but you need to land a hit on your opponent in order to start your combo in the first place. And playing and winning neutral is the process in which you land that first hit. So for now, forget about the combos and just mentally consider it to be a mini victory every time you land any stray hit on your opponent. In your mind, imagine that you are converting those hits into combos, and as you get better at this game, eventually your imagination will become reality. So, with that said, let's talk about when you should be playing neutral. And the answer is, whenever both players have their feet firmly planted on the ground, and neither player is actively taking a hit. If you're currently being comboed, you should not be playing neutral. If you just got swept, you are not playing neutral. If you're shuffling back and forth and trying to decide if you should throw a punch, congratulations, you are playing neutral. Alright, and now that we've talked about when you should be playing neutral, we can talk about where you should be playing neutral. This is the bulk of the topic, so buckle up. Depending on who you ask, and in this case you're asking me, there are 3 ranges at which neutral is played: long range, mid-range, and close range. At long range, you should really only be doing one of 2 things. The first one is walking forward. Stage control is pretty important, so walking forward gains you some real estate and is a small improvement to your overall position. The second one is worrying about long-range moves, both your opponent's and your own. This includes projectiles or moves that send your character across the screen. If you're playing as a zoner, then this is the range that you're likely to be most interested in playing at. So you'll probably be doing a lot of projectile spamming and not a lot of walking forward. If you don't have long-range moves, or if your opponent is playing a zoner, then you should be trying to walk forward until you're at least in mid-range. At mid-range, which is approximately right outside the range of your longest range normal attacks, a few more options open up to both you and your opponent. You can now try to jump in on your opponent and kick them on your way down, but just note that doing this will likely put you at close range. Your opponent might try to do the same to you, which is a good time for you to try to anti-air them. Go watch my basic guide on anti-airs if you haven't already. Another option is the drive impact. But similar to how you can react to a jump-in with an anti-air, you can react to a drive impact with a drive impact. This is called a counter drive impact. If you can react consistently to jump-ins and DIs with anti-airs and counter DIs, then you're well on your way to ranking up. Alright, other mid-range options. You can continue to use your projectiles and other long-range moves, as well as walk forward or backward. Finally, you can try to hit your opponent with some of your longer range normal attacks. Most characters in the game are at least okay with playing from this range, but if you're playing as a grappler, then you might be interested in walking forward to close range, where basically any attack will connect, and throws are maybe just barely out of range, but probably not. There's generally a trade-off between the range of an attack and the speed of an attack. Attacks with longer range are generally slower, and attacks with shorter range are generally faster. At closer distances, an attack's range becomes much less important because any attack will connect. So using your slower long-range moves becomes a much worse option. If you choose to attack, I recommend your shorter range moves because they're usually faster. Your other offensive option is to throw. As for your defensive options, well, you can check out my basic defense guide for that. And in addition to what I talk about in that video, you do still need to watch out for DIs and jumps, but these become much less effective options at this range as you get better. You can also try to walk backwards or even jump backwards back to mid-range. Unless you're in the corner, in which case, good luck! Finally, all you grapplers out there will really enjoy being at this range because this is where you can most effectively threaten with your command grabs. Alright, and there you go! You should now at least have some idea of what you might want to try to do in neutral. In addition to these concepts, I also recommend you figure out some of your character's best neutral tools and use those to your advantage. And of course, this is far from covering all there is to know about neutral, but it's enough to get you started. Keep landing those stray hits because in my next video, I'm going to teach you your first combo. And then those stray hits won't just be stray hits no more. Till then, thanks for watching and I'll see you in the combo video. No, a combo video actually means something else. Maybe I'll see you in the video where I teach you about No, that's way too loud.